inte uttala det.
Erik, Calle.
Calle, HB.
Marcus Pettersson.
Daniel Nordgren.
We are here to talk about our different articles and so on. Yeah, this is Erik. I can start with reading up my summary about the article that I chose. The article that I have chosen to summarize is from New York Times. It explains that and why many Senate Republicans are starting to break away from President Trump and his administration. Trump has been deeply criticized by many different Republicans of the decision to fire FBI Director James P. Comey. The president has even been critiqued privately by those in support of the decision, saying that it was poorly timed and disruptive of their work. Republican senators are now, as mentioned, breaking away from Trump to try to form their own more conservative and traditional agenda. Senator of Arizona, John Mackan, also stated that America's relationship with Mexico is a good and strong one, and that it would be bad for America's own economy to disturb that bond. He also stated that Mr. Trump should not expect Congress to give Russia a pass in its actions over in Syria, Ukraine, and the 2016 American election. The president's popularity has obviously decreased all over the country, and the Republican senators' actions clearly show the consequences of Mr. Trump's actions. Yes. So the question that I have prepared for my article is, what do you think about Trump's idea of building a wall? Is it actually a good idea to build the wall between Mexico and the US? Calle?
I think that Mexico never will pay for the wall. The wall will most likely be extremely expensive, and actually I read that the most illegal immigrants from Mexico arrive in planes. So I don't think it's a great idea.
Marcus, what's your thoughts about this?
I think it was a great idea.
I disagree also. I think the wall will keep criminals out of the country.
So you support the building of the wall?
Of course.
Okay. Any more thoughts about that, Calle?
Why do you support the wall?
Because it will keep out drugs, criminals, and immigrants.
But they arrive on planes. Most.
Then we need to secure the planes and hold the wall.
Yes.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Calle. Killing CIA informants. My article is about the Chinese government killing and imprisoning 18 to 20 CIA informants. The killing and imprisoning started from 2010 to 2011. The intelligence breach has, according to the former and current officials, been the worst breach in decades. The trouble began in early 2011 when CIA assets were starting to disappear. This led to a joint investigation run by the FBI and CIA together, codenamed Honey Badger. Honey Badger analyzed every operation being run in Beijing. As mentioned, the Chinese have killed more than a dozen informants, including a man who got killed in front of his colleagues in front of the government building. This was confirmed by 3 US officials. There are 2 theories behind the breach of the intelligence. The first scenario is that there is a mole inside the agency, while others believe that China has hacked the communication between the informants and the CIA. After a deep investigation, the agency concluded a suspect, but they lacked evidence to arrest him. The suspect, mole, of the agency decided to pursue a business opportunity in Asia, which is believed by some officials to have been gotten arranged by the Chinese intelligence. That was my article, and my question is for you guys: do you think the Chinese government had the right to imprison and killing the CIA informants and agents?
Marcus, no, I do not think that, because it's a violation of the human rights to kill somebody without the trial.
Yeah, I agree. Without them facing any court or justice, they simply just got judged and didn't have any concrete evidence against them. That would be illegal and against all of the human rights, and this is foul.
I disagree. That man was spying in another country and he know the risk.
Yeah.
So therefore he deserves to get killed if he gets caught.
So you don't think,
You think
that
he
it's
deserved to
upsetting?
get killed?
You don't think
Yeah,
it's
if he
upsetting?
got caught and was spying in another country, yes.
So you don't think it's upsetting that they're violating the human rights?
But he was spying in another country.
But they didn't face him against any court, so you don't
They
actually
have no
the
right to
concrete proof.
spy on another
But they
government.
don't have concrete proof for that. Okay.
What's so wrong with spying? What do you think is the problem?
It's not the right thing to do. It's illegal.
Yeah, but any countries spy on each other like all the time,
China
But it
spies
is-
on the US, so
and the US spies
And
on
the
China,
US kills Chinese.
and the Chinese.
People. How do you know? Yeah. We will never know.
how do you know they kill them?
You just said no. You said that the Chinese killed the US.
The US.
Therefore, the US agents will kill the Chinese.
How do you know?
No, because they
I
don't
think
violate.
so.
There has been no example of them violating the human rights, so you don't know that. No.
I think,
You think that's your
Yes.
opinion. Okay, yeah, it's a free world.
of course.
Yes, I accept you.
This is Marcus, and this is my article. It was published on BBC on the 8th of February 2017. The article is all about how 10 London Underground stops got their names. The stops are Covent Garden, Elephant and Castle, Tooting Bec, Knightsbridge, Maida Vale, Alegate, Piccadilly Circus, Queensway, Shepherd's Bush, and my favorite, Cockfosters. The author really dives into the history of London and gives a good picture of the origins of the names, and also includes a little bit of humor. Many of the station's names date back to hundreds of years ago, and some even thousands. The article was really interesting, and I learned a bit of English history while reading it. So my question now for you boys is, do you think that more people should start traveling by the metro? What do you think, Erik Hallery?
Yes, I definitely think so. That would decrease the carbon dioxide that is released into the air, and definitely help the war against global warming. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. It's traveling by the metro is good for the environment with preventing global warming. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree too. It's much cheaper than buying a car.
yeah.
Yes, but I've been in London, and the subway there was very noisy. I don't think it's very good for the ears to travel by it. What, do you still have the same opinion?
Yes. Just, I mean, if you think it's uncomfortable, sure, but you could solve that pretty easily. I mean, just wear headphones or whatever, like earmuffs, if you feel like it. If it's too uncomfortable or unbearable for you, there are ways to solve that. But I think that the environment shouldn't suffer.
Okay, thank you, Erik Hallery.
Great. Daniel, this article is a report about the North Korean missile test and how the neighbor countries have reacted towards these tests and Trump's new approach to young Korean leader. The DPRK have made several missile launches over the past few months, although most of them have failed. The tension between the countries and most of their neighbors' countries now seems to be all-time high. It all started in January when US intelligence satellites picked up activity on a North Korean missile factory, and on the 20th January, the indications came that the DPRK was preparing to restart a plutonium reactor.
Daniel.
This.
article also covers South Korea and Japan's response to the enhanced Korean missile activity, and let us know that they have set up more military warships along the coast where 4 of the DPRK missiles landed. So to sum up this article was the coverage of North Korea's nuclear activities, the different response of the neighbor countries, and how the relationship between the DPRK and the US are, quote, set for a head-on collision, which can give some indications that a nuclear war may not be as far as most of us think. If both countries refuse to give away and give in to the demands of one another. DPRK stands for Democratic People Republic of Korea. My question is, are you afraid of a nuclear war? So, Marcus, are you afraid of a nuclear war?
Marcus here. No, I'm not. We are pretty far away both from the US and North Korea, so I don't think it will affect us directly.
Okay.
I agree that I am not, for one, scared of a nuclear war either, but just because I don't believe that North Korea have the guts to attack, for example, China, Russia, or the US, I don't think that would happen. But if that would happen, I don't agree with that we wouldn't be affected. For example, if the US would be attacked, especially if there would be a nuclear war between North Korea and the US, the economy in all over the world would be affected. So that would be devastating for the entire world economy.
What do you say, Carl?
Well, I'm not scared of a nuclear war taking place right now, but I believe that a nuclear war would be a disaster for the world right now, because especially because the modern enhanced weapons can cause extreme damage to cities and people, and it's
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
That's it for us. Thank you. And
Out.
that's-
Thank you for
We're
us.
out.
Thank you.